In this video, I will share an interview of myself and how traveling has changed my life and can change yours too.
I know man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive as I reach out.
Hi, Peter. Thank you for this interview. How old were you when you traveled the first time? The first time I traveled, I was only a few months old, so I really don't remember that. But of the stories of my mother, I can relate that I was in Malaga in Spain, and we drove about 2-3 days. And we arrived at the destination, and I played in the sunny beaches. But the one that I remember first is the one that I went on a football camp. It was an amazing trip with some kids of the neighborhood in Switzerland. It was near the border of Italy, and so the people spoke Italian and German. And the people I was with, they spoke Dutch. So I was like helping everybody, even the elder people, the coaches, with the paperwork in the hotels. And so it was amazing. I was the middleman, already that young. There were different age groups, and with the 15 and 16-year-olds, I had to help them. It was good. I was about 10 years old. That's the trip I remember most. The girls wanted to hang out with me so the guys could understand the girls and the guys. And so in the end, it was fun. It was great to understand that the people need a middleman. This is how business worked for me almost most of my life. So somehow that first trip was a schooling for me for the future. So you started very, very young. So what was your first impression of meeting locals at other countries? My first impression is great of the locals, as I love to meet the locals. I'm not of the kind of person that loves to lay in a sunbed in a resort for the rest of his holiday and not meeting the locals. For me, the locals are more important than anything else when you go on a trip. As many times you go to a tourist office and you get the tourist places, you get all these things that everybody else get. But with the locals, you get the key factor. You get the beautiful places. You get the unique spots, and you get, even local food. Very interesting. Do you like to try different food? I love to try different food. I really love to because, at home, you know what you get at home. But out there, it's so much, and our taste buds go crazy. What I've learned on my trips is that you have to stop eating with your eyes. As we always do, we look for something, and if it looks good, we want it. If it doesn't look good, we don't want it. And that's difficult on some parts on the earth. Because some things don't really look like you can eat it, and they have the most craziest and amazing flavors. I remember some things that I didn't like, and that was, it could be in Thailand. It was like, it looked like a mussel, but it was spongy. It was not hard, and I tried it. But I didn't eat it. I couldn't eat it, no. And some typical things, the worms and all that stuff. I think it's fancy food already, right? Everybody sees that around now, and I think we all have tried it. Scorpions. It was fun, but it's not the food that I mostly like. But different would I like, because the spices in Morocco or in India, and what would it be without these spices? I think it's so much fun to get lost in the kitchens, get lost on street food. I think it's very interesting, and I love it. That sounds amazing. I can't wait to try out some of these options. And some I better don't. So, name us 3 countries that had a wow factor on you, and why? Name only 3 countries? Whoa. That's difficult. That's difficult to name only 3 countries with a wow factor. Thailand is for sure one of these countries that impressed me with their smiles, always smiling, always open, always and inviting. I've been in so many people's houses that I have no idea who they were or where it was, but They invited me to their home. They let me eat their food. They let me talk to the family. And the more people have, like the less friendly they are, the less people have, the more friendly they are. This is what I've noticed. That creates the most amazing vibes. And again, this helps you to explore the country even more. You explore their food. You explore their hidden places, hidden gems, private properties. That they invite you to their private properties. And on top of that, I think these moments that get created because this neighbor is there and that neighbor comes in, and on the end something happens and you end up in a place and eating with everybody, and you're invited to that party and that people's house. And this will never happen if you go to a tourist office and you go to this tourist place and you meet only tourists. So that's why it's so important to meet the locals. Coming back to the wow factors of that country is the natural places, these islands that Thailand has, the ocean. It's beautiful, so beautiful. The people are nice, friendly, inviting, and then they live in the most beautiful place on earth. And the next country I have to go to, Norway. Norway for me is one of those countries that opened my eyes. Very expensive. Not only because of that they opened my eyes, but these fjords, the nature. The people are the opposite of Thailand. I don't mean that bad, but they're not that open. They're closed. But once you're in there, you're not getting out. They become very friendly once, they have this shield, you can call it. But once you're in there, these people are so friendly and so inviting as well. It's amazing. What we did, we went in a mobile home, and it was the best experience of my life. We even were lucky enough in the end of the summer, and that's not usual, to see the Northern Lights. So that was very impressive. Yeah. And the nature, of course, again, the fjords. If you've never seen the fjords, it's breathtaking. It's crazy. It's crazy, these walls, these heights. And you can hike a lot, you can walk a lot, you can fish a lot. There is so much to do in Norway. But yeah, we went, I think almost a month, but in the summertime. So I can't push it enough to visit Norway. It's an amazing place. And the third country, let me see, what will be the third country? Argentina. Argentina has impressed me as well. I'm not talking about Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is a city. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's vast. But Patagonia, the Patagonian, wow, we went there. I went there with my best friend, Paulo, from Portugal. Amazing guy. Amazing person. And we went backpacking, so down to earth, nothing fancy. It was different, very different of what I was used to because of my traveling and business I was working. I was working in events. So I was always invited to very good restaurants and hotels. But when I travel, I want the opposite. And this is what I did with Paulo. And we traveled through the whole Patagonia. We saw Ushuaia, the end of the world, they call it. And we went into Chile and came back. And what I've learned there is that there is a very harsh world. It's very hard because the weather changes every moment. It's very cold, very warm, very cold. So to grow something is very difficult. The animals, there was not a lot of wildlife because it's very hard to live there. And then you have people living there. The gaucho is the cowboy of Patagonia. It's impressive. These people have so much land, so much money, you can say, but they don't look like it, and they're hardworking, and it impressed me a lot. And I have a beautiful story. What happened with Chile and with Patagonia was that we were waiting like in a line with buses, all to show our passport to come back to Argentina. So the funny thing is we're waiting at the border that somebody decide it has to be the border, because, of course, there is no borders if you don't put them there. And there was like a small cabin where we had to go in one by one to show a passport if we were invited back to Argentina. While I was standing there, I saw dogs running past the border, crossing over, saying hi to another dog on the other side in Chile, going back to Argentina, and all the time crossing over. And human beings are the smartest animals on the world, but we had to stand in a queue and show a paper to cross a border. So yeah, somehow it's a funny story. That's unique. I've written them down on my bucket list too. So can you please share with us, what has traveling changed in you? There's so many things travel has done for me. Traveling has changed me a lot. It has opened my eyes. It has opened my heart. I think, yeah, if you meet people you don't know so far away from home, where anything can happen, you can need help from anybody, and you get it. You just get it. So weird. The less people have, how more open they are. The more people have, how less they give, how open they are. It's crazy. It's crazy because I think, very easy if somebody's walking through a neighborhood that nobody knows. I bet many people look through the window and can't wait till he's gone. And in other places where I've been walking through neighborhoods of these poor people, or, it's a bad name to call them poor people, not wealthy people, they were coming to the door and inviting me in, or talking to me, or helping me. Maybe I was lost, or I needed some water, and I was offered so many good things. So somehow traveling does that to you. Change that in you, to be more open, to be more nice, to take time, not for yourself, but for somebody else. Very interesting. So what differences have you noticed between travelers and non-travelers? What differences I've noticed of travelers and non-travelers? The first thing would be the openness, The people who not travel or don't travel a lot are not that open. The typical words that I've heard of people who don't travel a lot is, this is the best place on earth. This is the best food you will ever try on earth. Or it's all the best is here. As they don't open. They close their borders, they close their houses, and they say everything is the best between those walls. And I think that's an issue with a lot of people. I don't say they can't. Everybody should do what they want to do. But I think that's the biggest difference of people who travel and don't travel. What else? Yeah, like I said, that we are more open. We see somebody, doesn't matter where he's from, what skin color he has, and he's standing somewhere and he's lost or whatever. You can't wait to talk to him. I can't wait to talk to him and ask him if I can help him. It's very different. I think that wouldn't be me, or I wouldn't do that if I wouldn't have traveled that much. I would stand there like, oh, okay, let's go on what I have to do. So I think that's the biggest difference I see in travelers and non-travelers, the openness, the heart. They're more closed, they're more family-based, friend-based, but if some stranger comes by, it's not really, it doesn't help a lot. So the mindset, the openness, the happiness, and the push to get more, to see more. It's not money-wise, it's you want to see more. And you notice that money can buy a lot, but not everything. Like I said, those moments that I lived, being somewhere and meeting somebody in the middle of nowhere where you think I would be alone and have the best time of my life. It's crazy. It's crazy how people are that open when you're that lost. Thank you very much for this interview. It was very interesting, and I can't wait to ask you more questions. I hope these answers and questions help a little bit on your decision making. And travel a lot. Enjoy your time outside. Enjoy meeting people. Enjoy meeting new cultures. And try different food. Don't be scared.